Hi guys, we got our Disco 3, which we got fairly recently, only a few weeks ago. The key fobs never really worked. Ooh, now it's doing something. Key fobs never really worked. We thought it was battery, so I've more or less replaced the whole thing, checked it over. I do electronics, so kind of get that side of things, and that's all fine. Was reading up and didn't really see an awful lot on it, so I thought I'd post something. I heard there's these 3 green wires which are all normally enclosed in this. So you take off a trim here. I'll show you this after. Pull the seal out, pop this off, and also have to take this off the bottom of the chair because that very much gets in the way. So you can get round to the wiring. Now, I thought that I would have had to cut all of this out and it'd be a massive pain, but actually I've managed to locate this little connector. And what I found was, funnily enough, a little mouldy thing up here, which had obviously seeped in here and some liquid had got in it, because I went to pull them out and there was no ends left on the cable. So now, let's see if I can poke this up somewhere. Now, if I've cut this cable back, I've twisted all these up. So if I put them together now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of solder on this wire and then wrap it up in something to make sure it's got a good connection, it's not going to go again. But we can wire this up, and you should probably be disconnecting your battery before you do this, but I'm not a mechanic and I don't fancy finding out what needs reprogramming if I disconnect that battery. So now that is made, obviously that's just a white, green cable. There's 3 cables going into one thing. This is one thing I didn't get from reading online. Just enclosed in that, which was just like that one there, but smaller, inside this wiring loom. Now that there, it's now made our key work reliably for the first time. Awesome. So I'm going to solder that and wrap it in something, and then I'll put this back together and kind of show you guys what I did to take that apart, because I've never done anything car-wise on any of our cars, but having a Disco, I thought we'd better start to save ourselves some bit of money. And that was actually really easy. I literally needed 3 tools and my hands, and lots of wrenching and worrying about breaking something, but I'll show you which panels we had to remove when I've got them back on and soldered this connection. Right, so I'm back, and let's see if I can actually just video how easy it is to solder this. So I have literally just got a bog standard, cheap and nasty soldering iron from the garage. I don't have anything special. We're literally going to heat the copper, and we're going to put the solder onto the wire rather than the soldering iron, because that copper wire should be getting hot enough for the solder to melt into it. Okay. Make sure it's very much melted in to make a really good connection, because I don't want this to happen again in my time of having this. This is a just shy of 20-year-old car, to be fair. It's an 05 plate, 55 plate. So obviously it's taken this long for that to happen, so I think we'll probably be okay. My next problem is I don't actually have any electrical tape to seal this, so I've just been having a look at my options, and that will do. That's a really good soldered connection. So now I'm going to unplug that soldering iron. What I wasn't sure was, can I use a Wago connector, which I have laying around from our C&B. I don't have any singles. What I have got somewhere, I just had it, is a little bit of shrink wrap, if I can find it. I literally just had it. You ever get that when you literally have something in your hand and then it's gone? I'm gonna find it and come back. Right, I found it. It rolled under the car. So it's nice and thick, so it's going to get over all these wires. Not only that, but I also thought ahead that it would be nice to know that this has been replaced and isn't the factory one. So I think a red will stand out a bit more. And all we're going to do with that is just use a lighter to just shrink that around that cable. And yes, that's not going to be a watertight seal or anything, but it's going to be good enough, isn't it? Lovely. So that's that. Now I can tuck this back in here and crack on using our car. And you can just go tucked back in there. I kind of wish that I'd have videoed this from the beginning because I've literally never worked on a car other than I did replace a radiator once, but that's it. So that's that. That can all sit back in there quite nicely. And then we've just got to get these panels back on. So I'm going to do this one first, which will slot under everything else. This one was the very bottom panel. So that goes under everything to literally cover that wiring up. And this is the bit I hate about cars, and one of the main reasons I don't do it is these panels. So they literally just clip in there, and this one, once it finds its spot, clips in nicely there, and then we can start getting all the other panels back on. This one actually I lost a bit out of, so I've got to get this on. So we've got this panel to clip back in, we've got the seat panel here to clip back in, which I found a bit awkward because we've got these metal clips on these and a screw behind here, and it was really awkward to wrench out of there as well because it's a really snug fit. I even tried to remove this and just couldn't. Again, why I don't like cars, I couldn't remove this. I'm sure it's quite easy. I did everything except for this part. I think there needs a screw in there, and yeah, we'll get it back together and we'll have a working car. Lovely. Right now we've got this trim off and this trim off. I've put these back on. I thought I'd try and show you guys. Sorry, it's going to be like totally in reverse, but I'll show you guys a bit of what I was up against with this. I've also just found that it's a little bit damp under the driver's footwell, which is odd. We don't have a sunroof in ours. I'm going to have to look into that next. Now I've started. This panel comes off quite easy. You pull this out. You can pull these off. We've got these metal clips here, which I found quite awkward. If you struggle with those metal clips, a pair of pliers on the inside here did the job well for me. That's where it comes in, look. And then I had to pop this off and get a screw out of the back there. It was really awkward to pull it out past this, so I'd recommend if you can take this off, take this off. I really struggled taking this off, pulled everything out. I think there's a screw that I couldn't find, so I managed to struggle with that. But next, this seal has to go off, and this is literally just clipped in in these metal bits. So I don't think it's going to be easy to get it back in the wrong place. And then once I've got this back on, we put this one on, which again I don't think can really go in the wrong place. So I think it's plain sailing from here. Right, so now I have put all the trims back in. I even put the fibres back in. So I've put all of these back, put this trim back, I'll put this centre piece back too. And now these door seals, when you're putting this stuff back, this goes over this one, and it goes under this bit but over that bit. So it does take a little bit of jiggery pokery to get these back on. Same here, it goes over this bit all the way down until we get to here, and it goes under, and then it comes over again here, up there, just in case you've forgotten that like I had. It was right fast. Now for the finishing touch, close it. I even just faffed around to find this, so I can put this back on because I'm so confident now that it's locking, unlocking, just with a few tools. And that's me, done, my first Land Rover.